This is what we call a two-height exercise. We got one height for the accent, one height for the tap. Okay? Very simple concept. If you understand the concept of that Mr. Freeze exercise, then playing this is a pretty concept to understand. All you have to do is, it takes a while to work out the fulcrum pressures so that you can relax on those inner beats. And this is really, really important because I see all the time drum lines, especially high school drum lines, that come in and they can play nice accent tap exercises, but they are still squeezing the stick on every single stroke that they play. And it looks really nice, and it looks like they've kind of they're all clued in on what it's supposed to do and what it's supposed to look like. But then you see them play some show music, you see them play some accent patterns, and here's what you come up with. And essentially, what's wrong with their technique is they have not learned how to relax between those control strokes. So as you're working on this exercise, do it really, really slow, and see if you can isolate the control stroke and relax those inner beats to the point where it's nice and fluid in between, especially with the triplet bucks. So I'm only squeezing on that downstroke and then relaxing those taps in between. Work on this exercise at different heights. You can work on a height that's like 12 inches for the accent and 3 inches for the tap, or you can work 12 inches and 6 inches, depending on what style that you play. And refer back to the previous exercise where I talk about that fulcrum pressure that you're going to use. So if you're a drum set player, probably not a lot of reason to really squeeze the stick and get those taps down. I would probably be working this exercise if I was a drum set player at maybe 9 and 3, or even 6 and 3, because you're still going to develop that control over that rebound, but we're going to do it with a squeeze of the hand. Now, for a little bit advanced level player, like I talked about before, we're going to take this up a notch. I'm going to talk a little bit about the molar stroke. I'm not going to get into a real in-depth discussion on it. If you want something that's really, really in-depth on a whole technique, rudimental side, really go for Jeff Queen's book, because he breaks down every single aspect of the molar stroke, or buy Molar's book if you can get a hold of it. Essentially, what I'm going to do with the molar stroke, and this is where drum set players really have an advantage, is that instead of playing a tap on the low end and lifting up from here, what I'm essentially going to do is think of there being a string tied to my wrist, and I'm just going to pick up the string. So I play an accent, I control the accent, and then I pick up my hand right at the wrist. Now, what's going to happen is, as I pick up my hand, the stick is going to touch the drum. Okay? That's just a natural motion of the stick. So, what I'm doing with the molar stroke, and again, I really encourage you to go in and find out more information about this, is that I'm getting a second stroke for nothing. All I'm doing is lifting my hand up, and this second stroke happens just because I'm lifting my hand. It's like a 2-for-1 stroke. So check it out. I'm controlling that stroke on the second note. I'm not really even playing it. Okay? I'm just lifting my hand up. This really works well on the triplet bucks exercise. And this is really good for drum set players, because you can develop that throw and get all of these extra strokes from that. So if you're a drum set player, I encourage you to work on this exercise and maybe use a little bit of molar action. Even if you're a rudimental guy and you want to start developing some speed, really take some time and find out what that molar stroke is all about, because that's what really takes it to that next level.